as a smaller biotech. The reality is you're not as efficient as big pharma, right? Because they have standards, they have dedicated resources, they have a formula for how to execute time after time after time. Small biotechs don't have that, right? They don't have that repetition. They're more bound to make mistakes, to not have the resources to properly lead the RTSM providers, say, like, this is how we do things. A legacy RTSM provider that doesn't have the bandwidth to pay attention to these smaller organizations are likely going to lead them down the wrong path or get led down the wrong path because they don't have the right resources to really take hold of what the smaller biotech's requirements might be, kind of walk that fine line of advising down the right path, but not being too rigid, but also being careful not to just say yes to everything and then potentially set something up in a not optimal way. As a smaller biotech, that really puts you in, I think, that much more of a category of having to work with a company that has that same drive as you. You know, these smaller biotechs are usually seasoned pharma people, right? They've worked at some of these bigger companies and they found their way to smaller startup biotech. They may not have done a lot of studies together as that organization, but they've been doing studies their entire life. But this is still new, right? This is still the new time working with not necessarily familiar faces and different dynamic. And it just makes sense to align that dynamic with companies that can just really make the time to work with that dynamic and have it be successful.